Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think I can get this done in 8 minutes. Good morning, colleagues. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak with you today about this bill. But more importantly, I'm just grateful to speak with you. I only regret that half this room is empty, so I hope that my message does reach the folks in the snack room and out in the hallway. It's no secret that my time in this chamber is coming to a close after this session, but as our other departed colleague this week said earlier, I'm not dead yet. We still have lots of important work to do together, and hopefully our work together will continue next year under a slightly different configuration. Because what I enjoy most about serving in what the Speaker calls the people's house is, in fact, the people here. Every day we come in, we say, good morning, how are you? How's your family? We learn about each other's lives, and we become friends. As the day goes on, we engage in earnest debate about some of the most important policy decisions that affect Georgians. We win some, we lose some, and yeah, my side tends to lose a lot. But for those who don't know what it's like to be in the minority party, I'll put it to you this way. After a long, frustrating day, I go home. Sometimes I cry a little. I lose a little bit more of my sanity. And then I dust myself off. I get a good night's sleep, and I come back the next day to say to everyone here, good morning, how are you? How's your family? Why? Because I refuse to abandon my naive ideal that no matter what, at least we follow the rules here. We follow the rules, and when we lose fair and square. Just because I don't like the results does not mean that the process failed. But this bill is testing my resolve. I do not recognize what is happening here, and I suspect that neither do many of you. This bill was introduced originally as a piece of local legislation that, in accordance with our county bylaws, requires the approval of the majority of the delegation. We had a map, a very conservative map, in that we had a map that altered very little from the original map that's been in place for the past decade, which you can see on the screens here. Map number 1, the map we have now. Map number 2, the one that the delegation agreed to propose. And map number 3 is the one that we're considering here today, which radically reconstructs a county that governs nearly 1 million people. The delegation-approved map number 2 on the screen here, was available for public viewing for weeks. The county commission held 5 open houses on that map. The delegation held 2 public hearings, 1 in person and 1 virtual. The bill was then supposed to go through the Intergovernmental Coordination Committee and then onto the local calendar, just like every other local bill. For weeks, we in the delegation took in public comment. We posted the maps on social media. We fielded phone calls and emails from our constituents. We talked with our local municipal leaders, faith leaders, business leaders. Everything was done above board until it wasn't. Until the rules for local legislation were no longer being followed. And if the rules are not being followed, my friends, then the results of these proceedings have to be illegitimate. Without rules, there's no law and order. If there's no law and order, then we are simply living in a failed democratic republic. By even considering this bill today, we are effectively telling the public that corporate bylaws no longer have to be upheld, that HOA covenants no longer have to be enforced, that city charters no longer exist, and that contracts are no longer binding. That is not wisdom, justice, and moderation. That is foolishness, lawlessness, and chaos. I'll wrap up soon, but I'll leave you with this. When I first came into this chamber nearly 4 years ago, I came here with the intention of being honest, congenial, and open-minded. I've enjoyed making genuine friendships with members of both parties. We have sat together, we've shared meals together, we've gone through leadership training together. I've lent my voice and my vote to support some of the bills that were not popular in my party because I believed it was the right thing to do. And now I'm asking you to do the right thing too by voting no on this bill. If not because of the substance of it, then please do it because the procedural violations that we're witnessing now has cast a shadow over the entire bill. And I know that asking you to vote no is tough because it requires a level of courage that is uncomfortable for most of us. I know that some of y'all will never vote against your caucus, ever, and I get that. Some of y'all are afraid that if you vote against leadership, it could put your chairmanship or vice chair position at risk. I know that. But isn't democracy important enough to pay the price of temporary discomfort? None of us here serve a human master. We all take the same oath of office to uphold the laws and the constitutions of the United States and the state of Georgia, and by extension, the rules and bylaws of this House. These proceedings violate that oath. A no vote today is a vote to hit the pause button. A no vote today is a vote in favor of the rule of law. A no vote today makes you a friend of this chamber, both for the members serving here now and the ones that are yet to come. All we're asking for is that this chamber respects the rule of law, that we respect the bylaws that govern our county of nearly 1 million people, a county larger than 6 states. We're a large delegation, but we know our county well. And our local leaders have proven themselves trustworthy to lead our diverse community. Let's respect local control, local rules, and local processes. Let us do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so, colleagues, both those sitting here in the chamber, I appreciate your time. I hope those in the break room can hear me. This is my ask of y'all. I am looking for approximately 15 brave souls among my Republican friends who know that what I'm saying is true, who are willing to do the right thing and vote no on this bill. Are you one of them? I certainly hope so. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield.